Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy Pod, presented by yours truly, Slim. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at R2Y30111. And you can follow your other host here, Scotty, at Scotty Drown. And as you can see by the title today, we will be doing top 10 power forwards in the NBA heading into next season. Keep in mind, this is not everybody's list, this is our own personal list. So as you see different names and different ranks, you may, start to think a little things here and there, but it's just our preference at the end of the day. So it's not like any disrespect or anything like that. Cause I mean, with these lists, like somebody just bound to get left off, and that's fine. That's
That's
okay.
facts.
It's not just like a personal shot at them, but it's just overall a preference thing. But nonetheless, man, these lists have been very fun and very challenging to do thus far, and the last list, the top 10 centers, I'm sure that's going to be a very challenging one as well. But nonetheless, let's get into it. How you doing today, Scotty, my man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm ready to get into this list. It's a great Friday. We're coming off a big Team USA W yesterday,
Yeah,
so
USA.
um, I'm feeling extra special today because we're going into the weekend, and I'm just gonna relax this weekend. We got like hurricane weather up here on the East Coast.
Ah, man.
So I'm just chilling this weekend. I'm not gonna go
Yeah.
outside. I don't got no work to do. And I'm going to enjoy it, man. It's been a hectic 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, so I'm looking forward to it. Uh, Marshawn Lynch says, "Does LeBron and KD count as power forward?" We counted LeBron as small forward, but I can hear the argument for him as a
Yeah,
power
because
forward.
yeah, 'cause he did
Um,
start at the fourth for them last year, so I could definitely see that.
yeah, I don't know over LeBron's career, but I guess you could say the same thing for KD because I'm going with KD as on the power forward list here
Yeah,
today. But what I was about to say about LeBron was throughout his career, I've just always looked at him as a small forward. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
that's
he
that.
is that just like prototypical like athletic wing, but
Yeah,
obviously he does a little bit of everything. You could call him a point guard if you wanted to.
yeah,
Um, he says Jason Tatum. Hey, Jason Tatum, same thing. Me and Slim was just talking about that before we came on the air.
yeah.
There's a lot of tweeners. Jason
It is.
Tatum starts at power forward for the Celtics.
Yeah.
But once again, in like my eyes, like when I watch him play basketball, he just plays like a wing.
Just Yeah, it's just like for LeBron, like it's just the way the game has evolved. So
Yeah.
you can just slide a guy like him down to the four. I mean, like nowadays everybody just going small, so it's really not. It's positionless basketball. Like we said this numerous of
Yeah.
times.
That's why it's gonna be fun when we do the overall rankings at the end of all these lists. So after the
Yeah,
centers, maybe like a top 20, top 15,
yeah.
maybe a top 20, a top 15 overall player rankings. Marshawn being funny in the comments. Not sure what you mean, Marshawn. Just relax. Um, nah, man, but let's talk about that USA Team USA victory yesterday, man, because that
Here's one.
that had me pretty lit yesterday, bro.
Yeah, I was hyped up there, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, I was hyped. Like what
This
a game,
man,
bro. You know
leave
what's so
Tobias
crazy?
alone.
Yo, like I'm not gonna. I kid you not, bro. I was just thinking about Tobias, and I was like, man. I bet if Marshawn made a list, that Tobias would definitely be in his top five. Can't you agree with that, Scotty? Like, I think he'll
Yeah,
be in
I
his
mean,
top
top
five.
five most mentioned. You know what I mean? It's he's going to be mentioned throughout Philadelphia history. So
Mhm.
he's a major
Yeah,
talking point in
I know
history, man.
Marshawn and Tobias got a pretty close relationship, so I'm sure he would, put him on his list for sure. But yeah, man, Team USA, like, what a comeback! I mean,
Yo,
like
Steph Curry.
Steph, man, like, what a guy! Like Wardell Curry, he came to get his first gold medal, bro. Like, and rightfully so. Like he was leading the way, like the way he just set the tone, like it's just crazy. Like his gravity is just still so insane to me. Like he gets so many guys open looks just without him, with him being on the court alone. Like he gets his teammates open looks. Like it's just crazy. But I mean, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Joel Embiid, like all those guys played a huge factor in just going out there and just getting the win. But obviously, we definitely would not have won if it wasn't for Steph and his greatness, man. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
then
was
you
it was
see,
special.
did you see like the Bogdanovich like down three down to the head? Like that was crazy.
Yeah, doing that
Like,
to Melo, the wrong move, man. The wrong move. You don't need to poke the bear. Like you're already winning. Like you don't need to do
yeah,
that. And maybe that gave the United States the extra
yeah, they
motivation.
definitely
But
like LeBron. He was in that mode, bro. Like getting down
yeah,
here, trying to
triple
get to the
double,
rim.
bro.
Like,
Doing everything. No, I thought it was tough, bro. Like especially in the fourth quarter when they're really coming back. I believe Embiid had a 3-point play, then maybe another mid range, and then
hmm
LeBron comes down, like just goes through everybody for a layup, takes it to the rack, does
yeah,
whatever he wants. It was special to watch, man. Steph Curry coming off screens, just nailing threes, and just watching it all happen together. You had like Kevin Durant closing the game out, like the mid range at the top of the key. It was nasty stuff. Devin Booker
Booker,
sliding in, just looking like the best role
the
player ever.
ultimate glue guy, bro. Like, I was just
Yeah,
finna bring him up.
it's
Like he is.
crazy.
You got to give him his props. Like this brother has bought into his role on his team, defending the best player. Like buying into his
Right.
role on offense. Like he's been like a Swiss Army knife out there doing it all, and you definitely got to give him a
Literally.
lot of credit as well. And since we talking about Team USA, man, I mean there's a trending topic going out there, and I think what I'm about to trend towards, and that's Jason Tatum. Yesterday he got zero minutes in the game against Serbia. So I'm curious, like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I mean, a lot of fans are not happy, like Celtics fans, even like analysts as well. Like they express their opinions about it. Like hell, even Draymond Green, like he's subtweeting Steve Kerr, like that he's talking about
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah.
Tatum getting 0 minutes or whatnot. But I mean, I'm curious to know, like, what are your thoughts on Jason Tatum getting like 0 minutes in yesterday's game?
Yeah, I think it is a little odd, I guess, but I mean Steve Kerr coaches the way he coaches. I don't know. He wants to go with these like 2 5 rotational, like where he switches all five out at the same time. He did differ away from it a little bit in this game because it was a closer game, but I just don't see how Jason Tatum doesn't fit into the rotation, but Derek White fits into the rotation somehow. Like I get it. Derek White is a great glue player. He's a great like rotational player, right? Like, but Jason Tatum can still do the same things. He can still shoot the three. He can stand in the corner and shoot the three. He can actually rebound better. He's more of a threat with the ball in his hands. I do get it. Like they're just trying. He's trying to like make the right pieces fit, and that's what it
Mhm.
feels like with Derek White. But you look at the rotation, and it's like the way Ann Edwards was playing yesterday. Like, why does he get a second opportunity to come in? Why can't Jason Tatum get a shot at his minutes? Like, Anthony Edwards wasn't playing that great yesterday. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just looking at like the rest of these guys. Like, Drew Holiday is a great player, and I get it once again, like a role
Yeah.
player. But Jason Tatum, like he does everything, and I just don't think he's like I don't know. That might be my Duke bias coming out like a little bit here, like because I don't understand it. I do hate the Celtics. Trust me. As a Sixers fan, I hate the Celtics, but
Yeah.
I just when you compare him to the other Celtics on the team, for example, why are they playing over him? Like
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Drew a little bit more understandable. He's a little bit older, brings the veteran leadership on the court.
Yeah.
Great defender for a guard, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Stick with his
the
hands.
Derek White thing, I don't get that. I don't get how he can't get in. Tyrese Halliburton too, man. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess you have to cut the rotation somewhere, according to Steve Kerr. But
Yeah, I can understand that.
I don't
Um,
know, man. It is confusing though. Like how does Derek White get in over Halliburton?
hmm,
I guess defense.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
It was only 7
what?
minutes for Derek White at the end of
Yeah,
the day,
right.
so I mean, not that big a
Um,
deal.
so
But
what is the
Tatum gets
bench?
zero.
What is the bench combinations like? Derek White, Anthony Edwards. I know Bam and AD and Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
So I guess. So typically, I guess Ant Man and Kevin Durant in that unit has the ball in their hands more, I guess, and Derek White to a certain extent, but I don't know, man. Like the only
yeah,
thing I can take
mostly
away
Ant.
from
and KD.
Yeah, the only thing I could take away from Tatum not getting minutes is that maybe he doesn't just necessarily feel comfortable playing that role of a Derek White. Like because if he were to, he would only be getting like spot minutes, like 3 minutes this quarter, couple minutes the next quarter, like things like that. Maybe he isn't necessarily comfortable in playing in that role. But what I will say is like, I mean, it's you can make a case for him to play over LeBron or KD, but it's just hard, man. Like those guys are like, you know what they're going to give you. Like they solidified their names in Team USA
Yeah, yeah.
basketball.
I
So
wouldn't
it's
I wouldn't play him over them.
yeah, so
No.
it's different. Like it's not the NBA. This is FIBA rules we're talking about here. So things are a lot different over there. I mean, these guys they won gold medals. They know what it takes. Even Tatum, he has a gold medal. He knows what it
Yeah.
takes. But it's definitely hard from a position standpoint unless you were to just go big and I don't know slide Tatum to the two. But then it's like who would you still play him over like Drew Holiday, Devin Booker? So it's definitely it's tough, man. But at the end of the day, I feel like as long as you get the ultimate goal and that's to win overall everything, then everything should be fine, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Jason
I'm
Tatum
telling
is
you right now, I would play Jason Tatum over Derek White. Like that's where
yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
I'm looking at the rest of the players, like, okay, like everything else is fair. I'm even looking at Bam Adebayo. And like I'm looking at him situationally. He's been good for Team USA. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but Tatum, like, should play. Like he is one of
Mhm.
the best players on this team, so there should be a spot for him to play. And I feel like he does everything well. He's a great wing player.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know, but like
Yeah,
you said, as long as they win gold, who can really complain
yeah,
about
that's
it?
what I'm
Like I'm
saying.
not.
Like it's like it really doesn't get that serious. But what I will say, like
Indeed, cook.
maybe yeah, maybe it's like Tatum, like maybe it's a blessing in disguise, like him getting the rest here. I mean, he is coming off a heavy playoff run, so you know a lot of heavy minutes. So who knows, man.
What do you think about this? Booker D Book starting while KD comes off the bench. D Book's played
I
well.
mean,
I do think he has.
I feel like it's the right decision because having a guy like Kevin Durant off your bench is just, I mean, it's. I feel like it's the right thing to do because he provides scoring alongside Ant Man. So yeah,
And he finished
That's-
the game anyways with the
yeah,
starters.
I say more than
So
likely like, Kevin Durant going to finish the game anyway. So
I think it was Drew Holiday that might have been left out at the end there up
yeah,
until they
so it
took
was
Embiid out.
so it was Steph, Book, KD, Brown, and Joel.
Yeah, which I mean, just a magical.
Yeah,
It was so
like
fun to watch, bro. Especially like just being a Sixers fan, a Joel Embiid fan.
yeah, that dunk.
Watching him cook with LeBron getting a triple double, with Steph going off for 36. Just watching him play with that greatness.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant. It was just
easy money
it
snipe.
was beautiful to watch, bro.
Yeah, it was. It was nice. I say Tatum really don't have nothing to worry about because I think that this is LeBron, Steph. This their last Olympics. Like Kevin Durant, I can't say that because he loved the game, but Brian and Steph. So it'll be minutes for him the next Olympics for sure.
But at least Derek White was part of this, right?
Yeah,
Like I don't care that much about Tatum, but
yeah. If
Steve
Jalen Brown was
Kerr,
on this team, though, like
he does some questionable stuff. Like for Draymond Green to be calling Steve Kerr out is
I
kind of
mean,
crazy.
yeah, like I can't defend Steve no more. Like how I used to try to defend him because I just can't back it up. Like some of the things he do is just I can't like explain that. Like it was times where he had four guards out there on the court this past season, and I couldn't justify that. So I definitely
Yeah.
understand like fans' frustration in Team USA. So yeah,
Yeah, probably just Boston fans that are really upset not seeing Tatum
yeah,
there, but
it's really the Tatum thing that mainly stands out. But like you said, like for
because we're just
Draymond, yeah,
nitpicking, like we don't
yeah,
care that much. Like we enjoying this shit,
yeah.
but
But for you to say
you're a
like
Boston fan.
Draymond, though, like
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
it
That is
is
kind of
though, like
crazy because he doesn't have to do that. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to call out Steve Kerr, but that is what he does. I mean, staying true to himself, I commend it. But yeah, man, they take on France for the gold on Saturday, I believe, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That is. So
yeah,
we'll see how they finish out. That should be an interesting game. I'm sure Embiid will get his head booed off by the French.
Yeah.
crowd. Um,
Yeah.
but hopefully Steph can keep going. That was like his first like big explosion since he started playing on this Olympic team. So
Yeah.
maybe he's hot now. Maybe he can keep that going in the gold medal game. It'll be interesting to see who ends up winning. Like I think they do like a MVP type of thing for it as well. Like
Yeah,
they
yes.
obviously all get gold medals, but somebody wins MVP. So I imagine it'll be probably LeBron. But we'll see. We'll see who shows out in the gold medal game because Steph could maybe steal it.
Yeah,
Be
it should
interesting.
be interesting. Yeah, hopefully my guy Steph get it, but I mean, I know Rudy Gobert got took out the starting lineup for France, so that should be
They might
interesting.
have to reinsert him
Yeah,
going
they put
against
Wimby
USA
at the four.
because
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think Wimby is guarding Embiid at all. But who
yeah,
knows? Maybe they go with like a like a switchable defense type of thing. They'll probably end up doubling Embiid anyways. So it should be an interesting matchup. Obviously, the USA should take care of business. I expect them to actually
yeah. Put
take
Belton.
care of business early in this game. I think the scare was against Serbia. I don't think that it's going to happen again. I think we'll take care of business against
Yeah,
France, man. But
yeah. Serbia was the only team that, like, you can tell that, like LeBron said it in the Hoda, that they knew that this was going to happen. So
yeah, when you got Jokic, he draws so much attention. You got shooters around him. They're lanky. They play physical. They got scrappy yesterday. Kudos to them. They came close. They came close. That's an accomplishment in itself, man. You
yeah,
come close to beating the United States in the Olympic Games. So I'm excited, man. I'm happy to be an American watching this USA basketball team. But man, you ready to get into the top 10 power forwards? Because
yes,
I think this is
sir.
going to be interesting. There's a few discrepancies that I had to kind of shift around, and my list is very interesting. I'm interested to hear who you got on yours, my man. How do you want to do
Yes,
it?
sir.
10-1 or 1-10?
What did we do last time? 10-1, I think.
I think
Yeah,
so.
we could do 1-10. Yeah, we can start off. We can start it off from the gates, man.
That's
See, we both
crazy. Yeah,
agree.
it's tough at the top. It's tough, but it's not. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it's
You want to go? You want to go first, or
yeah. I'll start it up, man. So for me, coming in at number one, man, I got the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo coming in at number one. Going into next season for him should definitely be an interesting one because I feel like a lot of people tend to forget about him. He is definitely one of the most dominant players to ever play this game. He's just coming off a 30 point per game season, and just like he shot like 60% from the field, so that's quite impressive right there.
yeah?
And yeah, man, I expect the Bucks overall just have a bounce back season. Giannis just be healthy. Dame, I like the piece that they added to their team this off season. So yeah, man, I got Giannis coming in number one for me.
Marshawn,
Come on,
Marshawn,
bro.
funny man.
What's up, man?
I'm with Marshawn on this though. I have Kevin Durant at my number one power forward. I
Okay.
know Giannis puts up the numbers, and he is a great player, obviously. As you stated, for me, it just came down to
Easy money
my
smarties.
preference in player, and like if I'm in a tough playoff situation in a late in a game, who am I going to go to? Who can get me a bucket? Who can get me a stop? And I'm looking at Kevin Durant, and that's who I ultimately went with in that case. But um, Giannis is tough, and that's why he's my number two. So he came in right behind Kevin Durant.
Oh
I
man.
couldn't put him any further than that. As much as I like to hate on the Bucks, Giannis is a great player. He's a perennial MVP candidate. He averages 30 points per game. He's a great player.
Yeah.
I did just go with preference and would I prefer out of my top player with picking Kevin Durant over Giannis, but Kevin Durant's clock is ticking. That's the downside of Kevin Durant. It could be this year. To your point, picking Giannis, you can be more confident that Giannis is going to have that MVP caliber season this year. At any point, Kevin Durant, all it takes is another injury, whatever. Once you get up in that 35,
Yeah,
mid
that's
30s
serious.
range,
Yeah.
anything goes at that age. But All that being said, he's still in top peak form, showing up last year. I believe he averaged 27 points per game, so not
Yeah.
too far behind. And just comes down to the way they play and who I would go to at the end of the game. But Giannis is right there, bruh.
Yeah. I feel that. I mean, coming in for me, number two, I got KD. That was a no-brainer. I mean, for all the right reasons you said. It's very interesting though that this past playoffs that Giannis and KD had the same amount of wins, and Giannis didn't even play. So, if you get what I'm saying here, but yeah, man, KD, easy money sniper, the tarantula, like he's definitely on the clock. I mean, he's getting older. His game definitely will like regress, but KD, like one of those players, like he's still gonna get a bucket regardless. He's like no matter what age he is, he's going to get a bucket, like for sure. So yeah, I got KD for me coming in at number two. Number three, man. You got your boy Zion, man, coming in at number three. I feel like this would be a very important season for him. Like, it just sucks, man, that a guy with this talent just keeps getting held back with injuries. Like you seen, like the play-in game against the Lakers, man. Like Zion was killing, bro.
Yeah,
Like he had like 40 points and like what 11 rebounds or something like that.
yeah.
He was getting to it. He was willing the Pelicans to a comeback in that game, and I expect him to pick up exactly where he left off from that game heading to next season. I love the addition of Dejounte Murray for that team, man. Yeah, man, I feel like Zion gonna have a big year for them.
Yeah, man, I can't hate on that. Obviously, I love my Duke boys. I did go with another Duke boy over him at number three, though. I went with Paolo Banchero.
Apollo.
Um, man, I love Paulo's game. He can play a little bit of that point forward role, right, for
Hmm.
Orlando. He's a great playmaker. Getting even better in the defensive end. He's starting to figure out how to play. He's getting smarter. You can tell in his game
Yeah,
each and every year. And I think it's just going to further even more this year. The more spacing that he has around him, the better, the more space he's going to have to work with.
yeah,
Contavious Caldwell Pope, he's going to add that veteran leadership down there in Orlando. Franz Wagner, obviously ascending right now. I think all of that feeds into Paolo and his game and what he'll be able to do on the court with less attention being able to be put on him, right? Having the talent around him. So I'm looking for Paolo to have a big year. Obviously, a first time All Star this past season. But when it came to Paolo, like versus Zion, who I have at number four,
hmm,
ultimately came to availability. Just being able
yes,
to
sir.
play in the playoff series last year against the Cavs. I get it. They lost, but he at least played in the playoffs and got that experience. Like Zion hasn't even really been able
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
that yet.
yeah, yeah,
So like once he's able to, I'm not gonna be surprised if Zion does get to go through a season healthy and then gets to the postseason and performs at a high level. He is a guy that performs in big moments. He puts on big performances, but Zion, he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and I hope that he can. His talent is really what got him up to what is it now, number four, I believe now, right after Apollo.
yeah,
Um, it's all talent though. It's not really what he has been able to do on the basketball court, especially in the biggest moments. So still relying on the potential there. It feels like with Zion Williamson
yeah.
to the point where he makes a top four here on my top 10 power forwards. But I did have to go with Paulo, man. I think even the playmaking, um, he's just a little bit better of a playmaker than Zion to me. I feel like he makes his teammates better. So
Yeah,
I did go with Paulo there, man. Number three, Zion four.
yeah. I respect that for sure. Zion, I see. I think me and you talked about this. He hasn't played in a playoff game, right?
I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
I can
So,
double check here, but I don't
so
think so.
this, so this would be his going into his sixth season, I think. So I
Fifth.
mean, okay, his fifth season. Yeah. I do
Yeah,
expect the
he's never played in a postseason game.
Okay, so, but the Pelicans have made it to the postseason while he was on the team. He just hasn't played in it. But
Yeah.
okay, but I do expect the Pelicans to make the postseason. But yeah, man, hopefully Zion can stay healthy. I ain't mad at that. Like Paulo, I mean, for him to make the playoffs in his second season is quite impressive. And like you said, availability is the best ability. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not necessarily mad at that. So So you got
Marshawn's
Zion.
hating on the list, bro. Like he's hating this Zion pick.
Come on, man. This is like based on going into next season, Marshawn. So come on,
We
man.
got to
Like,
be realistic. You know what I
yeah, you
mean?
gotta be
Like he
realistic, but I
did play
mean,
70 games last year. He played 70 regular season games. He just didn't play in the postseason.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to put Zion on this list. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see how you can't put him on this list. At some
So,
point, he got to make the list.
so who do you have it for? You have Paulo?
Um, yeah, I got Paulo coming in number 4. Yeah,
Yeah. That
for all
yeah,
the right
that
reasons you listed, so I don't have to just dive into too much detail. Like we all know what Paulo about, and I love the addition of KCP having that elite floor spacer next to him. Like you said, the point forward role. A guy like KCP would be huge playing alongside Paulo,
yeah, I do
spacing the
agree.
floor.
Get a couple assists just off KCP threes.
Yeah. So for me coming in at number 5, man, I got he just got paid. I got Larry Marketing coming in number 5 for me coming in. Like this guy 7 foot tall, one of the best 3-point shooters in his league. Like he's a high volume scorer, efficient, has gotten better over the years. When he first came into the league, like he showed some promise down there in Chicago, but then he started to go like on the downhill. But when he got with the Cavaliers, you get start to see the potential. But when he got traded to the Jazz, he ultimately became the franchise player, and
Yeah.
there's no expectations down there. So I definitely expect him to constantly get better and better. His points per game going to constantly go up. I feel like so. Yeah, man, Larry Markin, one of the better off-ball shooters in his league. Yeah, got him coming in number 5 for me, man.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. Lauri Markkanen at number 5 for me as well here to round out the top 5. You're talking about a 7-foot big that can space the floor. He can rebound really well. Can put it on the floor as well. He can dribble if you really need him to. But yeah, I had to go with Lauri Markkanen here. Like you said, got the bag for a reason there in Utah. I guess what I would like to see is him maybe moved. Obviously, he's going to have to play this season with Utah. Maybe a year into that contract, he can get out of there and play some meaningful basketball. But nonetheless,
Yeah, I
a
feel that.
former All-Star as well. I had to go with Lauri there as well. Number 6. This is where it got a little interesting for me, and I see Marshawn's question in the comment here. We did include
But
Scotty
he's
Barnes in small
he,
forwards, but
yeah,
he
he's a
is more of a
tweener.
power forward.
He's a
He is
tweener.
kind of yeah. A lot of these guys are tweeners. We
Yeah, a lot
did
of these
we
guys.
did mark him as a small forward, but you can make an argument. He's a
Yeah, he played power forward more than small forward. Let's put it like this. So.
What do you think about Marshawn's comment here? He says Zion ahead of Lauri is ungodly work.
He can make an argument, I guess. I feel like at the end of the day, these lists are like preferences, though. Like, who do you?
Like Zion's, I don't know. Like I guess when I look at it, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm being inconsistent here because when I look at Zion versus Lauri, I look at them like at their ceilings. Zion is a better player. He's going to do more for his team. Like he's going to play make. He's going to obviously rebound. He's going to obviously score the ball at a efficient rate with where he operates from.
Yeah,
They are just different players, I guess.
yeah,
But
yeah.
can Lauri? I guess my question would be this: can Lauri be your number one
On a championship caliber team?
on a championship caliber team? Maybe Zion can't either.
Yeah, I was
He's
gonna
injured
say,
all the time. But if he was healthy, I can see Zion the way he plays in the production.
yeah.
I could see him as a number one. But maybe I'm just being unfair there. I could be being unfair.
That's fair, but you could definitely make a case for Laurie. Because
Like a number one?
to a certain degree, you could make a case there, I guess. But me personally, I would probably prefer Zion as a number one over Laurie.
Yeah.
But that's just my
Like
personal
Lauri
preference.
as a number one is Utah like out of the playoffs.
Right.
Now I get there's not a ton of talent around him, but I don't know.
I feel what you're saying, man. I feel what you're saying. But I would definitely pick Zion. It's my number one option on a championship caliber team over Laurie. Once again, no disrespect, like Laurie's. He could be a strong two. I feel like, which is why we wanted to go get him. He'd be the perfect player
Yeah,
alongside Steph. So
facts. I do feel what Marshawn's saying. I do get the argument. Um, because Zion's health, it's a huge question mark every
yeah, it
single
is.
season
It is, man.
until he proves it's not. So it is fair. But I just went with Zion here just from a talent standpoint. I think he's more talented, but you can argue he's more talented than Paulo as well. I think that would be fair,
That's
as
fair.
you have him ranked ahead of Paulo. So number 6, man, this is where I thought it got really like preference based as
Yeah.
far as like production. A lot of these guys, the production is really similar. I went with Pascal Siakam, man.
Mm.
Down there in Indiana, I think he's going to be a
Mm.
perfect piece. He's a perfect number 2 down there in Indiana to Tyrese Halliburton, along with the other talent that they have there. But I really like Pascal Siakam because he can once again do a lot of everything. He can play make, he can handle the ball, he can shoot the three. Average, right? It's not a great 3-point shooter, but he can shoot it enough to feel comfortable. Great from the mid range, great with the floaters, can get down and do the dirty work. So I really like Pascal Siakam. He got the bag with Indiana. He knows where he's going to be. He's going to be able to play off of Tyrese Halliburton, who's obviously a great playmaker. So I see Pascal Siakam having an even better season with Indiana this upcoming year and playing some meaningful basketball now that he's out of Toronto.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. I definitely, him being alongside Tyrese Halliburton, I love that fit for him. Just Halliburton is an elite playmaker, and he's always going to find Pascal. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like they definitely feed off each other pretty well, for sure. So for me coming in at number, what we at 6, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So for me coming in at number 6, man, I went with J Dub or the OKC Thunder, Jalen Williams. He had a breakout season, and that was just his second season of his career. And yeah, man, like the way his game nice, pretty good shooter, can create for himself and also others. And the OKC had the number one seed last season, and he had a huge part to do with that. So I feel like he's only going to continue to get better, and he may even sneak his way into the top 5 power forwards in the NBA. Who knows? Had a career year all across the charts, and yeah, just was balling and just got comfortable in the OKC offense over there. And he's only going to continue to get better. His ceiling is very high for sure. So yeah, I feel like he's only going to continue to keep getting better and better. And I got J Dub coming in at number 6 for me, man.
And who's your number 7?
My number 7. My number 7, man. Jonathan Kaminga. I feel like it's the year, man. I feel like this gonna be his breakout year, bro. Like I feel like he's gonna give us a strong 19 to 20 points per game because we desperately going to need that. And yeah, like with Clay gone, like there's gonna be more shots for him to put up now. And yeah, like hopefully Steve carrying the coaching staff, play more to his strengths as well, so we can fully unlock him. Like he's been in the gym grinding all season. I've been keeping up with him. And yeah, I think he's gonna have a big year. I mean, it's a contract year for him as well. So yeah, man, I got Kaminga for me coming in at number 7, JK.
I like it. I like it. Got to show some love to your man's.
Yeah,
Um, the J Dub selection was interesting, man. J Dub's a tough one for me because I feel
he
like I
absolutely is.
penalize him for the way his game comes off to me. Um, he's he's so good with handling the ball, playmaking for others that he just doesn't come off to me as like that, like power forward prototype. So I think maybe I might have penalized him a little bit
Yeah, that's
with these
fair.
rankings. But I feel everything you said about him. He is a great player nonetheless. My number 7 after Pascal Siakam at 6, I went with Jaren Jackson Jr. Down there in Memphis.
Mhm.
I know once again this is more of a potential thing. He's another guy that just can't seem to stay healthy. But once again, I do. Oh, excuse me. My bad. I totally skipped over my next guy. I messed that up. Jaren Jackson Jr. is my number 8. I apologize. Evan Mobley came in at number 7 for me here. And I actually went with him over Jaren Jackson Jr. For the fact that he has played in the postseason, has contributed for the Cavs, even showed up big against Boston in a few games towards the end of the series there. I really like what he's shown. I think he is like that prototypical power forward. He gets you the shot blocks. He gets the rebounding. He's great on the defensive side of things, but then he can also space the floor. He can hit the occasional three, and he has great mid range. So I went with Evan Mobley at number 7 after Pascal. I don't know why. I'm looking directly at my list, and I completely skipped over him. But nonetheless, I have Evan Mobley at number 7. Jaren Jackson Jr. at number 8. Obviously, just a little bit lower. I think he could be top 5 on this list if he could just play in the postseason, play throughout the regular season, stay healthy. Maybe I am being a little unfair to him versus even Zion, right? Putting him up a little bit higher. But need to see Jaren Jackson Jr. stay healthy. Aside from that, he does about everything on the court. Once again, just that defensive range is amazing to have. The rebounding, the blocking shots, but mostly spacing the floor as well. Hitting the 3-point shot is his specialty. So I really like his game. So Evan Mobley at 7, Jaren Jackson Jr. at number 8.
Okay. Hey, man, that Triple J, the former defensive player of the year, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so for me, man, coming in fouling. Yeah, he does foul a lot, bro. Like Draymond has said that a lot. Like he fouls a lot. Like I've seen Jaren. I went to a lot of Grizzlies game, and Jaren does foul a lot, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. So for me, coming in at number 8, man, I got Pascal Siakam. For all the right reason that you listed, is a former NBA champion. I love the addition of him. Staying with the Pacers, it was a no-brainer. I felt like they was going to come to a deal. Just the fit there is it's the perfect fit for him, playing alongside Tyrese Halliburton, as well as the young guys they got down there, Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, and the list goes on and on. But I feel like they could definitely build something there as well. They still got Miles Turner. I feel like a lot of people tend to forget about him as well. So, yeah, they building something nice down there in Indiana. And I feel like a guy like Pascal Siakam is the perfect fit. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, like, he's not the greatest three-point shooter, but he can definitely knock it down. He can create for himself and as well as others. So, yeah, I got Pascal Siakam for me coming in number 8. Should I give you my number 9 or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, man, coming in number 9, man, I got Evan Mobley. Just got paid. Got a lot of money there. Nice rebounder. Like you mentioned, shoot the mid-range. Occasionally knock down threes. I feel like his offensive game would definitely take another leap as well. So, yeah, man, for me, I got Mobley coming in number 9. Very great elite defender as well.
Yeah.
I feel like he take a leap. Yeah, take a leap on that side of the ball as well. To be 6'11" to be able to hold his own on the perimeter is quite impressive, I can't lie. So, yeah, for me, man, I got Mobley coming in number 9.
Yeah, obviously, I love both of those picks. I had them a little higher on my list. The next 2 guys for me, you already had on your list as well. So I think it kind of works out. We had the same guys on the list, at least in these last 4. I believe we had the same exact guys, just in different order. So actually, the last 5, including Lori. So 5 through 10, we had the same guys, just a little bit different order. 9, I had Jonathan Kuminga, your boy from Golden State. I agree. I think this year he's going to go off. I think they will finally accept him for who he is, right? I feel like there was some like tension there at the beginning of last season in the first half. There was talks of trading him. He's even been rumored in packages this season. Just settle in, let him become the player that he's meant to be. He has star potential. So let him blossom. And I do think they'll do that this year. It feels like they're going to have to lean on him to maximize Steph and Draymond's last final years there. No Klay Thompson, even more room to blossom there. So got your guy there at number 9. At number 10, I went with J-Dub, as you mentioned earlier in your list. With OKC, I think he's another guy on this list that a lot of these guys can do everything. That's how the game has kind of change. It's transitioned in this new age. All these guys could be point guards at times, the way they handle the ball in a sense. So it is interesting to see how it plays out. I think he is a guy that has a great future. We'll see how it all fits in. I think now that they have Hartenstein at center, you'll have Chet
Mm.
probably at that power forward, and maybe he shifts to small forward. I don't know. You got Lou Dort there. You
With
got
the
SGA obviously
Caruso.
going to start. So
Yeah, they
we'll
got
see.
Caruso as well, so it's
Right, Caruso,
yeah.
is he a starter? So does J-Dub come off the bench as like a six-man role, or does he start ahead of maybe Lou Dort? It'll be interesting to see that transition. Nonetheless, I think he's going to fit perfectly within that team, the way it's structured, the way it's built. They're going to
Mhm.
be a tough out in the postseason for sure there in
Yeah.
OKC. So had to put him on the list. The only other guy that I even thought about, I'm just double checking here just to make sure I don't disrespect anybody else, but really was Aaron Gordon. I think he's like a perfect role player. Um, but there was a little mystique there with him playing for Denver, playing beside Nikola Jokic, who is a great playmaker, makes other people look great down there in Denver. So I'd maybe took a few points off for that. Just the fact that he's probably not even a number 3 on a championship team, maybe a number 3, maybe a really low end number 3
Yeah,
on a
strong.
championship team, but he does do a little bit of everything pretty well. He's a perfect glue guy. But I don't know. Was there anybody else? I mean, Smith from down in Houston, interesting. I think he'll have a better season. I think he'll keep getting better. McDaniel from the Timberwolves, think he's another versatile, like great role player.
Whoa. Hold up. Wait a minute, man. I just thought about something. So you just brought that up, like damn.
Minnesota, right?
Carl Anthony Towns, bro. Like he's
Yeah.
he essentially he's a 4, but he's not on our list. Like what is going on here? Unless we're going to put him on us. Wait, damn. That's interesting, bro.
Yeah, he is listed as a center,
But
but
he
I
starts.
know what you mean. He
Yeah.
starts beside Rudy Gobert.
But I'm gonna finish my list out here, then I'll give you the names of the guys that that didn't make my list that
Yeah.
I could have made a case to make it, but you didn't mention his name just then, so for me coming in at number 10, man, it's interesting to see how he's going to fit with this team with the new additions that they had, and that's Julius Randle, man. This guy just came up for a season where he averaged like 24 points per game, and heading into next season, I can't just say that he's going to like average more or some along the lines that he just averaged due to the fact of Adam Mikal Bridges and the fact that OG just got hella paid and I don't know what his role is. Like you would think that he's a
Yeah.
strong number 2, but it's just kind of hard to say. But for me, man, coming in number 10, got Julius. But overall, you know what Julius provides you. He bring that physicality, that toughness, that dog. He's a 3 level scorer. Can score with the best of them when he's right. And yeah, man, all star player, all NBA caliber player here in Julius Randle. So to round my list out, man, I had to go with Julius.
That
Uh,
is that is interesting. Julius,
mhm.
I do feel like I'm being a little harsh on him, man. Maybe his value is just sunk on me, um, just for how they performed without him.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair. That's fair.
there is part of me that wonders how they will perform when he comes back and he's shooting inefficiently in a random game. But yeah, man, he is a talented player. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah,
agree with
he
everything
is.
you said about him. It is just interesting that he didn't even like cross my mind.
Yeah, I say this like Julius Randle is one of those players. Like if he's, because I've watched this man for so long. Like if he's shooting bad in the game, bro, he would not stop shooting the fucking ball, bro. Like he could be shooting like 1 for 11. He's going to keep shooting it. But yeah, a few names that didn't make my list that made a case. Obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr. Like you listed for all the right reasons. I just felt like those other guys heading to next season are more deserving. That the reason I put Kaminga is because I feel like he's gonna have a breakout year or whatnot. So yeah, and then even Randall, like Pascal
Yeah,
and Mobley. So yeah, I had Jabbar Smith Jr. down as an honorable mention as well, and as well as Aaron Gordon. Like Aaron Gordon is a junkyard dog. Like if you prefer like winning players, like Aaron Gordon is a
yeah,
guy to get. Like he impacts
I
winning for
agree.
sure. Like the ultimate glue guy. Like he does it all. Like you seen his impact in that Lakers series earlier this year. Like he was just doing all the little things that just translate to winning games. So yeah, and another guy, like man, we were just having this conversation, and that's Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. Like
Yeah,
based on what we seen last season, I feel like he
he
could
should
definitely,
blossom.
yeah, he could take another leap, man. Like Dejounte Murray's gone. Maybe he could be like that strong second to third option for this team. Who knows? Like obviously they had the number one overall pick, but I don't just think that there's any heavy expectation down there in Atlanta. So Jalen Johnson could definitely blossom into being like a 19, close to 20 point per game player in this league. So yeah, those are the names. I didn't just see anybody else, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of those names as well. Julius Randle, he's an interesting one. Him versus like a Jaren Jackson Jr.
hmm But then again, it just comes
Two
down to like
different players,
preference.
honestly.
Yeah, it just comes down to preference, like
Yeah,
Jaren defense around the offense. So yeah, like do you fear question like do you fear Keegan Murray as a power forward or he's like a tweener to you?
I think he would be more of a power forward,
hmm
honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
with Sabonis playing center. Yeah.
he's a guy as well that honorable mention then. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think I would put him over any of the guys that I got on here. But yeah, Aaron Gordon, you hit the nail on the head with him as well. He is a guy that I heavily contemplated, but I knew I was, heavily favoring him more as a role player rather
yeah, that's
than,
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
like a star-ish type of player like some of these
Mhm.
other guys.
Yeah,
So
his like,
it's interesting.
and that's kudos to him though. Like when he was in Orlando, like he was the guy, and when he got traded to Denver, he completely transformed his game. For the better of his career, you could say so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, man. I think that's gonna do it for our top 10 power
yes,
forwards.
sir.
Think we mostly agreed. I think there was maybe just one
Yeah, I had
different.
Randall, and you had
Randall
Jared.
and Jaren
Yeah,
Jackson Jr. Yeah, so top fives were very similar. I think we just had the top four mixed. Because I had KD, Giannis, Paulo, Zion, Laurie. But
yeah.
Marshawn didn't agree with that. He thought Laurie should be in the top four, man. I don't know. I don't know.
I
It
mean,
is.
I don't know.
We'll see what Laurie does this year. He was in and out last year with Utah. We'll see what he does with like a consistently healthy season this year because he
Yeah,
was an all-star the season before.
yeah,
So
he was lost. I mean, I feel like with
there's an
Marshawn, though,
argument.
I feel like with Marshawn, though, he would have Tobias in his top five. Like that's the impression that he gives me, man.
You
So
didn't mention him in your honorable mentions. Like, no thought. Like, my man averaged like 15 last year, 15 points per
he
game.
averaged like 17 when I looked it up. But I mean, we all know, bro. Like
You
that'd
saw the
be
basement. You saw the floor of Tobias in the postseason, bro.
yeah,
You don't want no part of that.
it's wild, bro.
He could have fit with the Warriors, so y'all should have traded for him.
Traded, like really? If he was willing to accept a minimum contract, then I can't be mad at that. But to trade for
A
him is kind of
minimum. He got the bag from
wild, bro.
Detroit. He got
Yeah, I
the
mean,
bag from
yeah, kudos to
Detroit.
him. So he's making like what, $27 million a year or something like that.
I
So
think so, bro.
kudos to him, man. I mean, hey, he got the
The
bag.
bag in his career. Made the most of
Got the
it.
bag.
You got to respect it. That's one
Yeah, you
thing.
gotta respect that.
It was painful in my life, but I respect it.
Yeah.
He didn't make the top 10 though, nonetheless.
Nah, I don't even
Um,
know if he's top 15 or 20. Come on, man. Like,
centers is going to be interesting, bro, because I'm interested to see where you
yeah,
go in this list, man. You know where I'm going in this list.
yeah. I mean, it's
Um,
kind of obvious at this point. I mean, just yeah, but we'll see, man.
hmm,
Like we
that'll be
said, each of these lists has been challenging for sure. Just I think it just comes down to a preference things overall, though. Like, who do you prefer, like on your roster?
yeah, that's honestly what it came down to for me. I mean, after I get past like the superstar level talent that I would say Kevin Durant, Giannis, Paolo, Zion, Laurie. I would say all of them in my eyes have like a superstar level talent in
Yeah.
them. Some are number ones, some could be number ones, maybe some are closer than the others in that top five. But then 6 through 10, I feel like was more like preference based on like what I would want as like a number two guy or a number three guy on a championship contending team. So it was interesting to see like the different tiers that you would have like in this
Mm-hmm.
ranking, because even then, the top two are in their own tier. I don't mean to group them with those other
Yeah,
three in
yeah,
the
yeah,
top
yeah, yeah.
five.
Yeah, we know what
KD and
Giannis and
Giannis
KD about.
are different, but Paulo, Zion, Laurie, I would say are all in the similar tier right now.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Man, do we give too much credit to Zion? Is that a thing? Like, do we do that?
I mean, you could definitely make the argument, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like, it's always like his potential. Like, if he can just stay healthy. Like, I do feel the argument.
I will say this though, like before
Gotta
last
play.
season though, like before even going to last season, I don't think Zion would have probably been top five for me if he didn't just have the season that he had. Well, to be more
Yeah.
exact, if he
He
didn't
did play
play,
70 games.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like if he didn't play 70 games, I don't think that he would have. Like, he probably would have kind of made my list, but I don't know if I would have put him top five though. To be
Yeah,
fair, it's
that's
not
fair.
like I'm just riding his coattail here. Like he
No,
did,
I
I
feel
gotta
you.
give
He
him
did play
credit. Like he did,
70.
yeah, he played 70 games, man. That's quite
It's just
impressive
the
for him.
postseason that he missed. Like
Yeah,
that's why we have that bad taste in the mouth. But he did play. No, that's interesting, man. It was a fun list. It's funny because I was looking at last week's list with the small or earlier this week rather, the list with the small forwards, and I saw like Jeremy Grant's name, and I just thought like power forward, but I don't know, man. There's so many
yeah,
tweeners.
actually he is another guy that's an honorable mention as well. Like
Yeah,
I mean, he's
he was
down
an
there in
honorable
Portland.
mention for me last week. That's why I had his name written down, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean he's
know. I
down there in
probably wouldn't
Portland,
put him on
so
my list.
yeah, he's down there in Portland. No expectations. So,
Yeah,
yeah, he's
he
going to
probably
ball out.
wouldn't make my list. Let me ask you this: if Scotty Barnes, if we decided to list him as a power forward, where do you think you would put him on this list? Just
Uh, he would
hypothetically.
he would be top six for me.
Yeah, I would group him
Yeah,
in with
it
those
was.
top five probably.
Yeah, I was finna say like maybe it's like a top six, but a strong top five. Like
Yeah,
yeah, somebody would probably come out and it would probably be Zion, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, I would slide Paulo up and then I'd bring Scotty in and
yeah.
then bring Zion as my six power forward. Cause I don't know, like maybe I'm a little biased towards Scotty. I'm a huge fan of him. His ceiling is pretty high, so yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, no, I feel you. You had him a little bit higher than me even last week with the small forwards, but it's interesting. There's a lot of mixed, a lot of tweeners in the NBA these days, so it does complicate things a little bit. But we'll iron it all out with our final list, nonetheless, of the overall players. But
Yeah,
we'll finish out these individual rankings with the centers probably early next week. We'll get to that live here. But no, it was interesting, man. We'll find out if Team USA wins gold over the weekend. Both Team USAs, including the women. So we'll get to watch that. Maybe we can recap a little bit of those games as
for
well.
sure, for sure.
Bringing home gold, I'm sure. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see a reason why not. But yeah, man, you got anything else you want to say to the audience out there?
Nah, man. First Eagles game. You see, I got my Eagles gear on. The NFL
Yeah,
season starting, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, man, just enjoying this USA basketball. This is legendary stuff that we're watching here with LeBron, Steph, KD, all of the Hall of Famers, the greats that are in our current era right now. They're all on one team. So I definitely recommend checking out that game tomorrow because it is history within the country, not only athletics, but the country as well. And it's gonna be fun to watch. Like it's just
yeah, it
incredible.
is.
Like the aura of the team is just
Yeah, it is.
ridiculous.
It is
Like these
ridiculous,
are
man.
superstars, man,
Yeah.
and we get to be the best. It's honestly just fun to watch, and I'm happy we had that competitive game with Serbia because I think that made it even better. Like it made it more fun. So shout out
Yeah,
to Serbia.
Yeah, for sure, man. I felt like a little kid, man. The way I was
Yeah,
celebrating the comeback, bro. It was
like
nice, man.
LeBron rewinding the clock a little bit, Steph
Yeah,
rewinding the
like
clock. You know what I mean?
yeah, like getting to it, man. Like no one needs to be done. But since you brought up Hall of Famer, actually a quick question, man.
Yeah,
Do you think Drew Holiday is a Hall of Famer?
two-time champion, multi-time All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
I think so.
Respect that. Yeah, he
Could
made
win
all
another one with Boston for all we know. I mean,
yeah.
they have a great team,
Yeah,
so
he made all defensive teams a lot in his career. So
yeah. So I think so. I think he could. He could. He's a multi-time
yeah,
champion. Team
yeah,
USA is going to get these gold medals. I think he's been on there multiple times as well.
yeah. He's stacking up the accolades for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, got to.
underrated though in that sense. Not
Yeah, I can
somebody
see
you
that.
think about, but yeah, Drew Holiday. 'Cause he's been around for a while too. He had some good years in New Orleans. He started out in
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, yeah.
Yeah,
Shame on the Bucks, man. They thought he was washed, but yeah, man. Make sure you guys for all of those tuning in on X. Make sure you give me a follow at R2R30111, and as well follow your other host here at Scotty Drown, and make sure you guys go subscribe to the YouTube channel on YouTube at To The Galaxy Pod. As you can see it at the top left, you can see all our follows, all our social media, everything. YouTube is all up there. So yeah, man. Next week should be definitely be interesting with our next list of top 10 centers in the NBA. Should definitely be fun and entertaining. But yeah, man. With that being said, hope you all have a nice weekend and go Team USA. Let's
yes,
get this
sir.
go. Let's get this go, man. And we will
Happy
be back.
Friday.
We will be back next week. And with that being said, we out. Peace.
Peace, everybody. Happy Friday.